Happy full moon in your sign, Sag. The go big or go home eclipse with the square to Jupiter is going to create a whirlwind in your area of self-relationship. You versus somebody else. You and your sense of self having to do with that first house, seventh house axis. This is a time to deeply examine your desires without any attachment. Relationship dynamics are changing, but you are changing too. So be really willing right now to look at your own reflection while also understanding that what you see is destined to transform. What you see in yourself right now is going to transform into something new over time. You guys are the South Node until January, until you pass the torch over to Scorpio. So between now and then, lots of changes going on. I do want to mention this Pluto retrograde that's been going on since April, because I kind of feel like we're ending the beginning stages of it. Started in April, it's going to continue until the third week of October in your house of finances and things you value. You're going to be in the space of just really examining, now what is your relationship to money? You know, do your values align with the values of society at large right now? You'll be looking at all of this and any potential hang-ups that you've built up about money, about wealth, and if you're willing to dig deep and dismantle any sort of limiting beliefs that you might have around these things, you're going to have such an incredible chance to grow out of certain habits and things that might just be holding you back in that particular area. So that's what I see just really like lit up for you in the astrology for this particular week, and it's going to last for several weeks beyond that, obviously, with the eclipse. And so the eclipse itself for you is happening obviously in your first house, but it's sitting opposite the Sun in Gemini, Venus in Gemini, Mercury retrograde in Gemini, and the North Node in Gemini. All of that's in your seventh house of partnership. So there's going to be a lot of energy sort of pulled into that axis. And it's squaring that Jupiter and Pisces placement, which is sitting very comfortably in your fourth house of home, of things that you need to feel grounded, rooted, and safe and secure. So it really is this idea of value, money, relationship. All of this is floating around. So I feel like this is a big time for you right now. So this is going to be a general spread, and you can connect this with relationship, career, money, family situation, whatever. And then I'm going to go into a relationship only read right after that. I'll timestamp for that in the description box below. Getting into this energy first, we have the Three of Cups in the recent past. So celebratory vibe, abundant energy, just because this indicates a circle of support, allowing emotional healing. Some of you maybe even physical healing, depending on what's going on in your life. Really good energy for new relationship. 3 is the number of creation, right? So it's all about creating. At the same time, the Three of Cups can indicate partying, celebrating, right? Going out, hanging out with your friends. So really 3 of Cups could be like hanging out with your friends, maybe just, doing whatever you guys do, right? Situation right now, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and it's being challenged by the Four of Cups energy. So the Queen of Pentacles is about taking care of yourself, right? It's taking care of your finances, taking care of your body, as you, right? This is the energy if it's reflecting you. If it's just a general energetic influence, the Queen of Pentacles can indicate marriage, money coming to those of you who are coupled. This could also indicate a good financial management being on your mind, fertility being on your mind. This could also be like maybe you're thinking about getting pregnant, expanding your family. Maybe some of you are in a space of, this also indicates a sensual sex life, I do have to say, for the Queen of Pentacles. But what's getting in the way of these things, right? This is very much on your mind, right? This idea of maybe marriage for some of you, money, some of you, taking care of yourself, that kind of energy. Very nurturing sort of energy, having what you need. It's being challenged by the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is really this energy of, well, first of all, if you're in a relationship, a long-term relationship, you might be kind of bored right now. So the idea of, having that beautiful sort of expansive energy within a marriage, within a relationship, going to that next level, you might be in this space like, I'm not sure, I'm not sure if I want to do it, because there is this element of boredom. For others of you, it could just be, if in a regular relationship, it could be this idea of restlessness, boredom, apathy. Apathy is a little different than boredom, right? because to be apathetic, it's just like, I don't really care, like, whatever, it's never going to work, never going to meet the right one, I'm never going to really be happy in a job, I'm never really going, that kind of thing. But it's not like you're like, wah, wah, wah. It's more like you have very clear identifiers of why something hasn't been working and you not being able to figure it out, where it's like, I can't be in this relationship, this family connection, this job because of A, B, C. You being very clear why those things are there. But what you need to understand a little further is that there is something that's you need to heal from something that's gone on in the past, having to do with some sort of situation, looking at your own vulnerabilities, looking at your own approach to something, and that could be getting in the way as well. Not to say that all of the reasons why something you feel like isn't working or why you don't feel 100% comfortable in something, not that those things aren't real and true, but you want to look a little deeper at that rather than saying it's all them. You might really want to be looking at yourself and saying like, oh, you know what, maybe I do this. Maybe I can handle this thing this particular thing different moving forward, right? Doesn't mean that, again, everything is your fault. It does just mean that maybe not everything is somebody else's fault either. So we have the 10 of Pentacles as the crowning. It's a good energy, This is about family, maturity, depending on what your situation is. A maturity of money, deepening of commitment. This could be one of the marriage cards as well. This has to do with like shared values, property, legacy kind of thing. All of that sort of speaks to marriage and family, all of that inheritance as well. The idea of sharing. So the idea of sharing to be able to grow. So 10 of Pentacles could also be deepening connection within a business situation. Anything like this. This could also indicate family member giving you money to purchase a home, purchase a business, anything like that. And we have, between the 10 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles is a foundation. There's a lot of focus here, right? Because the 8 is the number of being able to master something. Mastering through very diligent work, very logical and diligent approach to work, a very logical and diligent approach to a mental, physical, or emotional connection as well. Because coins aren't only money, it's also mental, physical, or emotional connection with somebody. So this deepening of an emotional connection, it could be for some of you. For some of you, it's growing your money, expanding maybe a business, buying a home, right? Anything like that, where you're taking where you're at now and you're leveling it up. But it's going to involve either money or a deepening of connection. But there's movement here. Even though the situation does seem to be rather stagnant. So something needs to give and some sort of choice needs to be made, because we have the Lover's energy, which is always about a choice. So if this has to do with a career, one option might seem easier, but you have to look closer to make sure it's the best thing for you in the long run, right? So don't just make it about money. If this has to do with relationship, if you're single, this means really working on any sort of energetic blocks that you might have up, so that when you're ready for a relationship, you attract a healthy energy for you and not some, crazy nut job or some toxic mess. You don't want to deal with that. For those of you in relationship, this is a decision to actually fix the relationship or not. It's like, this is it. Are we going to work at this together, or are we going to let it go? We have to make a decision, because if you work at it together, you're going to have the blessing of Archangel Raphael. Otherwise, you're going to have to release it, one or the other. But that's a choice, right? That's a choice. And I like the Four of Swords, because this shows me that you're going to be thinking. You're going to be taking a time out, right? Stepping back for perspective. Really good energy for self-analysis, shadow work, therapy, anything like that. But to simply figure out a better strategy for moving forward regarding whatever the situation is. Family situation, relationship, anything having to do with work, anything like that. You're sitting back and you're like, all right, I got a choice here. You don't want to be very flippant about the choice. You want to be able to think everything through. But the challenge here is being able to temper it. This is your block. Your block is being in a space where you're comfortable. Not to say that it's you. It might be the energy that you're dealing with. Maybe it's a little bit of both of you. But it's this idea of cooperation, right? The temperance is about If it has to do with relationship, for example, there being this new level of trust and patient cooperation after a difficult time period. But all of that is going to require empathy, lots of good, healthy conversation, and a lot of cooperation and negotiating, right? But that being a challenge right now, if this has to do with career or money, you might be dealing with challenging personalities at work, right? Somebody's too aggressive, somebody's too sensitive, whatever it is. Patient cooperation can go a long way here, but you're feeling challenged by that. Either you're being challenged by it, or you feel like somebody else in the mix that you're dealing with is not allowing that. It's almost like somebody's being unreasonable here. Somebody's being unreasonable, and somebody's being selfish. We have the near future, Seven of Swords. So this is dishonesty. This is somebody who struggles with morality, which is not a good thing to deal with. I can tell you, right? Having to do the supermoon in Sagittarius, which is all about truth, belief system, morality, negotiating. And don't be surprised if you feel very conflicted right now. I am trying to remember to say that in all the videos, because Sagittarius, people don't talk about this a lot, right, with you guys. But you guys do struggle a lot with indecision. But it's a very different kind of indecision. I want to just address that real quick. It's a different kind of indecision than like Libra. Because where Libra's like, I could see that side and I could see that side, right? Libra is the scales. I don't know which is better. I don't know. Maybe they were just having a bad day and that's why they said that. Let me give them another chance, right? Libra's like that. You guys are indecisive in a different way. If there's an idea and you have to decide about it, you want to gather all the research and information that you possibly can and then make a very informed decision. But there is this idea of, will you ever be able to collect all the information that you feel like you need in order to make that decision? So part of the life lesson to the Sagittarius energy is to trust your instinct. Right? But sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do, right? It's just simply not the easiest thing to do when you're dealing with a lot of information. I always give the example, a very good friend of mine many years ago, many years ago now, at this point, 10 years ago, he was on the search for a sports car, right? So he was, he was test driving, the new Porsche at the time. He had a Porsche, he had sold it, the new Porsche and Audi, but all these different very high-end cars. Honestly, it was a 6-month search of going to different dealers, sports, different test driving, this. He literally got, not even joking, he bought the Porsche, was driving it, swore he heard a noise, brought it back, exchanged it, decided to go with an Audi, didn't like that, went to Mercedes, ended up back with the Porsche. It was the funniest thing. He kept buying it, bringing it back, because he couldn't decide on what was the right thing. So we had to go through all of this experience. So that's a lot of the Sag energy, because you're so higher minded. You want to make sure you have all the information in order before doing something. Okay. So really important for you guys. So now with the supermoon eclipse in that energy, we're all of us, all of the signs are feeling like we're all in the space of negotiating truth, our moral code, our moral compass, all of that. So for you to be dealing with the Seven of Swords energy in your near future, you're going to have them figured out in a hot second. You're going to be able to just see right through somebody who is just being selfish and they're overstepping boundaries, and you're not going to want to deal with it. So, right? So it's this challenge in being able to negotiate and temper a situation, because you're dealing with somebody who is not being very honest, whether it's because of fear, who cares? Right? It's just that is the deal. We have as a final outcome energy, though, the Three of Pentacles, which is good, because this is about coming together and success. This is about collaborating, success, rewarding work, allowing your talents to shine. This indicates a successful launch. Maybe you're doing some home improvements. Maybe you're looking to sell your home. This is also having to do with either home improvements or the sale of a home. Really, really good. So you might be dealing with somebody, though, who's maybe getting in your way there. Maybe you were feeling like you were dealing with somebody in that transaction who was being shady, but it ending up in your favor. Let's see if we can get some additional information. This could also indicate maybe somebody... very interesting. I'm getting with Temperance and the Seven of Swords. I feel like maybe somebody was not being honest here, whether you or somebody else, not being 100% honest, not because of malice, but because of fear. more because of maybe that, you know, because that Sagittarius could be that too. Please don't be mad at me, guys, because everybody has a light side and a shadow element. We all have that. But that can happen sometimes where Sagittarians really don't like to rock the boat, you know, when it comes to things. You really don't. So a lot of times maybe you'll try to convince somebody, maybe in a sort of manipulative, low-key manipulative kind of way, to see your side, or to go to sort of join in your thought process of something, so that you can ultimately get your way, because you genuinely feel that you know what the right answer is or the right approach to something is. And then if somebody resists you, what's easier sometimes is to maybe say a little white lie, or maybe to exaggerate on the side of whatever it is that the outcome that you want, in order to sort of low-key manipulate the situation. But it does seem like that's going to end up being discovered and talked about. I don't feel like it's going to be that big a deal. Seven of Swords is a minor arcana, and it is bringing us into this more positive space of the Three of Coins. So I feel like maybe that's just going to be a snafu in it. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, so yeah, I feel like what I was just discussing had a lot to do with, first of all, we have the Queen of Wands here, which is about stepping into your power, having ideas, and so it almost occurring to somebody that, oh, you know what, if I do this, I'm not sure if I'm going to feel safe and secure in this. Like, if I buy this house, I'm not sure if I'm going to feel safe and secure. If I make this move, I'm not sure if I'm going to feel safe and secure. If I take that job, if I say yes to the situation in relationship or in business, I'm just really worried about my money. I'm worried about, but not in a miserly way, more in a way of just plain old security, and just being in the space of, you know, I don't know. But, you know, there is this energy, or somebody else might be feeling this, right? Because we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. I feel like it's the only reverse we got here. This is an energy who's like prone to outbursts, who can be very almost cruel, right? Almost cruel and very deliberate. And then you're like, yeah, no, that's not fair, right? Because we have the Justice energy, which is about fairness. So something going well. See, I feel like somebody's going to try to pull something over on you, and you're going to end up seeing it. And I like that we get the Justice energy here. Because if this has to do with a relationship, first of all, this is about balance and fairness being really important to look at right now, right? So let's try to come to a win-win solution so that everybody's emotional needs are met. If this has to do with a career, money, family situation, whatever, you might feel or experience a challenging situation that feels like a test to you, right? And this energy means things are going to go well, they're going to go in your favor. Any kind of negotiation, interview, situation where there has to be a meeting of the minds is gonna go in your favor. If money's been a thing or an issue, things are set to improve. So I really like that, because that's bringing you into the Ace of Swords energy, which is nice. If this has to do with a relationship, it's getting over past obstacles, getting what you want. Really just auspicious energy for new beginnings. Thinking really clearly regarding anything, from work, love, any area of life, doesn't matter, but an immediate change to the circumstances for the better. So I really like this. Just make sure when you are vibing that something is not feeling 100% right with you, that you don't get aggressive, you get assertive. Do you know what I mean? Be more responsive rather than reactive, so that things could go in your favor. Beautiful. You look at this. Look at this. We have the Ace of Swords, and we have the Fool. So very nice. I mean, the Fool's about just new, right? This is new. This will be a new relationship, a new approach within relationships, doing things differently. In career, money, it's a new path, a new opportunity. This could have to do with a new home. This could even indicate somebody coming to stay with you, you having a visitor in your home as well. And we have the Moon energy here. This Moon is Cancer. So if this has to do with anything in relationship, there could be some confusion and disappointment because you feel let down by somebody. So this could be an intimate partner, this could be a family member, this could be just somebody who you're in a friendship with even. And all of a sudden you are experiencing this lack of trust that the situation with this person, this relationship is going to be able to work out, right, in your favor, and that ends up pushing you to make a decision. If this has to do with career or money, you might achieve a goal, like if you are going to buy a business or you're going to buy a home or you're going anything like that, or you're going to work in a place where you achieve it, you get it, but then you ultimately feel like it really wasn't worth all of that, right? And you're questioning the worth of something, and because of that questioning, emotions run high. You might need to just protect yourself from other people's negativities. Even though money matters is stable, you want more satisfaction out of something. You want something to be worth it to you all the way around. So the Hermit energy really does indicate taking a step back and really looking at, I guess, what maybe you feel uncomfortable about, what's not working. You may feel like it's time to try a different approach, go in a different direction here, right? You might be in the space too right now, Sag, where you're just prioritizing your responsibilities and you're trying not to make any long-term decisions just yet. Like, this is just a good energy to consider all of the information very, very carefully. So that's all non-relationship stuff. If it has to do with a relationship, the Hermit energy can indicate problem-solving energy. So if those of you are alone, that's just because whatever you were in up to this point hasn't been meant for you, and it's time to work on yourself. And really, in that, think about your past experiences so that mistakes aren't repeated in the future. And if you're in a relationship, then it's time to invest more energy and work to smooth over any issues that need addressing. But it's almost like this pause button, right, with the Hermit energy. And then we literally turn the page with the Page of Pentacles. So for some of you, this is going to be, and first of all, it's just progress. It's progress and a really auspicious beginning regarding finance, business, an offer made on a property, something in education, anything having to do with relationship, connection. Just pay attention to finances, that's it. But I like this because it's a hard-working energy. It's really good. It's a personification of Earth. Earth is always, it's very practical, it's very hard-working. So I feel like we had several messages here. Some of you are dealing with property things. Some of you are dealing with relationship things. Some of you might be dealing with family situations that have to do with either a business or property as well. Primarily, that's what I feel. But, you listen to the reading and you apply it to your life as you see fit. These are general messages, right? Take what resonates, always throw out the rest. Let's pull a couple of crownings for that read. So remember, this is for the general archetype, I've been saying it a lot more just because it's so important for you to understand your chart so that you know which, even for tarot, how to navigate the readings, right? I mean, you should definitely be checking your sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, and Venus. Your moon sign rules your emotions, your sun sign rules your ego consciousness, your rising sign is basically your personality, how you greet the world. It rules the house placements. Whatever your rising sign ruler is the energy that rules your entire chart. So even though you're a Sagittarius, maybe you're a Libra rising. That means that Venus is the ruler of Libra, rules your entire chart. So, which has to do with love, self-esteem, and romance, right? So these are, it's really worth knowing. That's why not all Sagittarians or all of any sign is going to have the same experience. Also, ages and stages of life play into all of this, right? So I never know who I'm actually reading for. Good, we got Thinker for the spread we just got. Truth be told, of course, the Sagittarius energy. Chopwood. We got Thinker and Chopwood. I love it. I got Thinker for a couple of other energies with like To the Sea, just the other ones where it's just like Thinker and Chopwood. think everything through and don't do anything straight away. Like, don't take an idea and run with it. Listen. Listen to what's going on. Listen for the truth to be told about a situation. If something feels up in the air right now, and something may very well feel up in the air, especially because Mercury's retrograde now in this energy, yeah, just like read the fine print, ask a question 5 times. You know what I'm saying? Just really do what you do best, Sag. You know, collect that research. You guys are the philosophers of the zodiac, right? So I love it. All right, so let's move on to relationship. So some of you maybe resonated with that for relationship, maybe not. Let's see what we get for a straight relationship read. Or maybe we'll just grab another group of Sagittarian energy to resonate with this. Let's see what we have. Self-sabotage. Pride. Victim consciousness. Okay, so either you or somebody that you're dealing with in relationship, they are very stuck in a very victim consciousness sensibility where they're really allowing their past to drive what they're doing in the future. And that fear, because it's always based in fear, that fear that something will not work out, that something will not go a particular way, that goes so, I'm doing this because it's so deep, right? It's deep, that generates this feeling of pridefulness. Well, what do you mean I have to pay for everything? Or what do you mean you want to be called every 5 minutes? Or what do you mean I'm not allowed to go on that trip? Or you want me to change? Or, you know, that kind of thing. Now, what can end up happening, though, is like that victim consciousness can create an over-response, either you or an energy that you're dealing with, where because of something that they've gone through that's gone on in the past, whether it's you or someone else, it ends up inciting this prideful, self-sabotaging behavior, which can end up getting in the way of a situation being as successful as maybe it can be. So we have the Emperor energy that's crossed by the Three of Swords. It's being challenged by the Three of Swords. So the ability to move forward in a way where it's like fresh path, new perspective, come on, let's go. I'm going to be the emperor of my own life, right? So Mars energy, the emperor is it's Aries in astrology, which is ruled by Mars. So it's very much a fresh path, new perspective, being the leader in your own life. That's being challenged by the card of pain, heartbreak, betrayal, depression. The reality of something, though, that's the thing, is the Three of Swords. Even though it's the card of pain, there's a reality to it. Like things that you were feeling like clouds of doubt are cleared, and you're in this space where you're just going to be able to face reality. So any confusion is technically it's going to be gone, and you're going to be in a position to start to move on from the pain or the shock of something and really begin some real healing. Yeah. So, some anxiety here. Remember, the energies can always be vice versa. They can always be reversed in an energy read. The energies are two and matched, you can't. So Nine of Swords is anxiety. I always call this the 3 a.m. card, right? It's overwhelmed, worry, trouble sleeping, right? Ruminating thoughts, depression, not responding well to the external situation of whatever's going on. So I explain the situation right here. We have the Chariot as the crowning energy, which is about moving away from this swift progress and change, moving away, feeling very determined to move away from something that's toxic towards the metaphorical home space, right? Just leaving, right? This relationship situation being expedited, right? So let's just see something here. Wow. The truth of the situation and lesson learned is moving you away from anything that's toxic in relationship. It's like a lesson learned, thank you very much, I'm not doing this anymore. Or lesson learned, let's fix this. But you being super determined to get to the bottom of the truth. So what is the psychological motivation of the person that you're dealing with? It's a very strong energy. We have the Hierophant energy as the foundation, which is one of the marriage cards, but it also is the energy of expectations and the ability to conform. So you might be in the space of, what is expected in relationship? What do you need to conform to? What expectations are put upon you? What are you putting upon somebody else? Just, do you know what I mean? The reciprocity of the ideas that I'm talking about. Expectation. Being able to show up in the way that it can mean marriage, but it doesn't have to be. But recognizing the psychological motivations to somebody and having this lesson learned. Now, for some of you, it's going to be like, okay, your partner might be like this with you. You might be like this with your partner. Okay, I understand why you do that in relationship. I understand now why you're scared of fill in the blank. I understand why you do da da da. And at the end of the day, if it's not something that's, morally crosses some sort of moral boundary, really these energies can be, all right, I understand now. Let's move forward. Let's just go. Others of you recognizing, no, I see, I learned my lesson. I gotta go. So it really does depend. It's either we're going to totally fix this or we need to end it kind of thing. Either you're ending the connection here altogether, or there is this redressing of what's expected in the relationship, right? And I just feel like it's going to go well for you. Here's look at the Six of Wands. This is beautiful because this is good news in general. Your feelings being shared, what you have to say being well received, you being able to receive well what someone else needs to communicate to you. So it's positive. And it ends up leading to a deepening of the connection because there's empathy. For those of you who are working it out. For others of you, I just feel more than anything, a lot of you are going to be working it out. Others of you, some of you are going to be doing some really beautiful soul work. And others of you are going to be just moving into something a lot healthier for you. There's movement here. There's change, though. I feel there is change in, because you have this, what am I thinking about? Yeah, well, because of where, you have the sun, again, you have the sun and Venus. That's where there's a lot of focus right now in your house of relationships. So it's either being fixed or you are transitioning out, but there's definitely change. Now we have the energy that's surrounding you is the Lover's energy. So yeah, some of you are going to be in the space where you're going to be doing a lot of solid work on yourself, like really good. Like if a relationship is not working out, I'm not saying you won't be hurt, but I'm saying that you're going to be in a really good space to do some solid, beautiful work on yourself. So it's going to be really good. Some of you are also going to be dealing with this decision, right? Because Lovers really, by design, this energy is about choices, regardless of whether it has to do with career, relationships, whatever. So it's this idea that there's a choice, and the choice being presented is, are we going to work at this together or not? Because we both have to be on the same page or it's not going to work. This can't be the 20-80 kind of thing. We have to be in this together. But I feel like having it with the Lovers and the Six of Wands, these two energies, this being you and this being the energy that's surrounding you, there's a lot of willingness to compromise and deepen something and figure something out, really wanting to figure something out. Now, the challenge here is, though, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Some of you might be just very haunted by the past of something, because the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter, but think about what a wheel is, right? It comes round and round, right? So for some of you, okay, there might be some sort of ex-love interest or partner coming back from the past, but you need to think about that last go around. You're having a really hard time with that. Some of you may be really challenged by letting go of somebody from your past. You're blocked. You can't do it. It's so hard for you. You're trying to. But there was something about that relationship that you're having the hardest time washing off your soul. And that's just something that you're struggling with now. Some of you are going to be in the space of maybe somebody comes back from the past and you're just like, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not sure if this is the right thing. Or you want to get back with them and they're not sure. That kind of thing. Or some of you are just having a really hard time dealing with this idea of cyclical patterning within the relationship. Together, you're not together, you're together, you're not together. It's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad. And that might be a little scary to you right now at this point. So depending on where you're at, those are the different ways that this can end up showing up. Now we have the near future. So the near future is a nice energy. The Seven of Pentacles is a minor arcana, but it's nice because Saturn and Taurus, beautiful, where it's about putting a lot of work into something, being really patient because you know it's going to be worth it in the end. You know it is. It's not the easiest thing now, right now, but this is where the Four of the World and the Three of the Trinity meet. I would say it's where heaven and earth meet. It's where there's this you know, they intersect, and this, it creates this new cycle in your life, which is nice. And then we have the Two of Wands, making plans, moving forward. This is an energy of partnership. Now, some of you might, if you're single or if you're in between things, you might actually be meeting a new partner, possibly through work or friends. Those of you who are in relationship, this is the two of you kind of getting on this new path together, because there's some sort of new opportunity that's right there for you guys to take advantage of. But whatever it is, your personal life is on the upswing, is what this indicates. So this is really nice. There are two aspects to a situation, and you're just trying to figure out what's best for you to do. So for some of you, it's, should I stay single or should I go with this person who I just met? Those of you who are in a marriage situation where it's like, should we buy this house or should we not? Should we buy this house or that house? Should we have a baby or not? Should we get married or not? Move in together or not? You know, but whatever it is, whatever the decision ultimately is, it's going to end up leveling up the relationship area of your life, whatever it is. But there has to be this idea looked at: victim consciousness, pride, and self-sabotage. We're really looking at, because remember what I said about your astrology, be so willing to look clearly at your own reflection while also understanding that what you see is destined to transform into something new over time. It's what every South Node energy goes through. It's always an almost 2-year sort of transformation, and it only happens every 18 to 19 years, and it's your turn to do this. Right? So that is what I have for you guys. I hope this was helpful in some way. Why don't we pull some Island Time Wellness for you guys? Let's see. Engagement ring. Wedding rings. Okay. Ascending. Guys, come on, look at this. Engagement ring, partnership, commitment, union. Wedding rings, union, marriage, soul connection, everlasting promise. So, you know, you don't have to go through the ceremony to have this kind of connection. But this is what I like. Ascending, transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, union. And then the Phoenix, new phase, rekindle, renew, transform, growth. Beautiful. And changed mind. There's change going on here. What a nice reading. I think it's going to be good for those of you who resonate with this. Obviously, again, I don't know what else is going on in your chart, but this is for the archetype of Sagittarius right now. And that is what I have for you, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Take care now. Bye-bye.